Good morning students. In the last class we discussed about the parts of the flower. Then we discussed about the unisexual and bisexual flower. And after that I explained you about the pollination. Two types of pollination were there. The self-pollination and cross-pollination. Today I will explain you about the fertilization. How do the fertilization takes place in flowering plants, or you can say the double fertilization takes place in flowering plants. As I explained you in the previous class that the flower consists of a male part that is called as stamen. Stamen consists of two parts. First, its anther and its filament. Anther consists of pollen grains and filament is a stalk-like structure that I explained you in the last class. And now see here, the pollen grains are released from the stamen, and from the stamen the male part is also called as androecium and the female part of the plant is called as gynoecium. So from stamen, or you can say from this anther, the pollen grains get released, and now from the anther the pollen grains are released and stick to the female part. The female part consists of the female part is also called as pistil or carpel. It consists of three parts: stigma, style and ovary. See, this is stigma and this part is style and this is ovary. So now the pollen grains which are released from the male part of the plant or stamen, from the anther the pollen grains is being released, is get stick to the stigma. Stigma is very sticky in nature. Okay, so the pollen grains get a compatible stigma and get stick to the stigma, and here in the stigma they absorb water. Here they absorb water and nourishments. After they stick this, see, this pollen grains get sticks to the stigma. After that they form the pollen tube along with the style. Here when this they form the pollen tube, here this pollen grains release two male gamete which has to get enter into the ovary, or you after that into the ovule later. Now I am explaining. See, here the pollen grains are released and they get stick to the stigma, and in the stigma they absorb water and the nourishments and they form the pollen tube. This is a pollen tube, and along with the pollen tube the two male gametes get enter into the ovary. Inside the ovary what is present? It's ovule, and inside the ovule what is present is embryo sac. So two male gametes releases from this pollen grains enter into the enter through the ovule through a point that is called as micropyle. That is called as micropyle. So through the micropyle it get enter into this embryo sac. Okay, so now two male gametes get enter into this embryo sac. Now I will explain you the structure of embryo sac. See, the embryo sac, it's a 7-celled, 8 nuclei are present. 7 cells are present, 3 in the top, 1, 2, 3, and 3 at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 6. And here the central cell, it's 1. It is only one cell. It's having the two polar nuclei. Okay, that I told you. Inside the embryo sac, it's 7-celled. It's 7-celled, 8 nuclei are present. Okay. So 3 is at the top. That is the 3 cells of this embryo sac at the top are called as antipodal cells, and in the middle the central cell is present with two polar nuclei, and in the end here again 3 cells are present. This middle one is said to be as egg cell, and these two are called as synergens. Okay, so now these two male gametes get enter into this embryo sac. Now the fertilization, now the process of fertilization takes place. As you know, the fertilization means the fusion of male gametes and female gametes. Now you study from here. It is the process of fusion of male gametes and female gametes which takes place in the embryo sac present in the ovule. As I told you, fertilization takes place here in the embryo sac. As I explained you, just you go through it. When the process initiated, when after pollination. After pollination, it can occur through the wind, air or water. After pollination, the pollen grains germinate on the stigma, or they get their compatible stigma by producing pollen tube. Here the pollen tube is being produced. Pollen tube passes through the style and reaches to the ovary and enters into the ovule, generally through its micropyle. This is a micropyle. Through it get entry into the ovule, or inside it the embryo sac is present. Okay, this is the embryo sac. Here the fertilization will takes place. So here it releases two male gametes. Here it releases this pollen grains. As I told you, this pollen grains will release two male gametes, and now the fertilization will takes place. Okay, so out of that two male gametes, first gamete or one of the gametes, see here, one male gamete fuses with this egg cell. Okay, and when the one male gamete fuses with the egg cell, it forms the diploid zygote. Later on, diploid zygote will develop into an embryo. See here, one male gamete fuses with the egg cell and formation of diploid zygote takes place. And this fusion is called as syngamy. Okay, when first, or you can say one of the male gametes, two male gametes will get released from here. So one of that male gamete get fused with this egg cell and forms the diploid zygote, which later on develops into the embryo, and this process is called as syngamy. And the second gamete is get fused by this two polar nuclei, or you can say the second gamete get fused with this central cell. So this process is called as triple fusion, because three nuclei are there. The second male gamete fuses with the two more polar nuclei and called as the triple fusion. Now formation of endosperm takes place. Here in the first fusion, the formation of diploid zygote takes place. In the second fusion, the formation of endosperm takes place. What is the function of endosperm? Endosperm provides nutrition to the developing zygote. Okay, so this will provide nutrition to the developing zygote. So the fertilization here, see here the fertilization will takes place as syngamy first and then triple fusion occur. Hence it's called as double fertilization. Okay students, so this was the process of fertilization. First, okay, I'm just repeating it for you. The pollen grains, when the pollen grains get stick to the stigma, they form the pollen tube, and along with the style they will release two male gametes. First male gamete get fused to the egg cell. This process is called as syngamy, and they will form a diploid zygote. Okay, and the second gamete gets fused to the central cell, or you can say the two polar nuclei, and the formation of endosperm takes place. Endosperms provides nutrition to the developing zygote. Hence the fertilization is taking place twice. That's why it's called as double fertilization. So next we will study about, now the fertilization is being takes place. So what were the changes after fertilization? That you will see. What will be the post fertilization changes? Okay, so what will be the post fertilization changes in the flower? See this. Now what will be the post fertilization changes in the flower? After fertilization, what will be the changes? And the fate of floral organs. See the petals, stamens, style, stigma and sepal shrivel and are shed. Okay, or they get degenerated, weathers off, you can write anything, or fall off, anything you can write. Sepal persist in some cases. In some cases they get fall off, but in some cases they get persist. Next is this is very important. Fertilized ovule matures into seeds, and so the fertilized ovule matures into seeds and the ovary matures into fruit. So here the ovary will get matures into fruit, and ovule inside it will get matures into seed. In the beginning, zygote undergoes division. It obtains nourishment from endosperm. As I told you, diploid zygote obtains nutrition from endosperms, or you can say the nourishment from endosperms, and grows to form the embryo. I told you in the I told you earlier also that first the diploid zygote will form. After that it will changes into embryo. The food reserve for future may remain in the endosperm or get transferred to the embryo. In the later case, food is stored in cotyledons of the embryo. The mature embryo becomes dormant. And the integuments of ovule. What are the integuments of ovule? These all are called as integuments. Okay. These are called as integuments. So these integuments of ovule form the tough and impermeable seed coat, and ovary becomes the pericarp, or you can say the fruit wall, the wall of the fruit. Okay. So it may be dry. Definitely the fruits can be the dry or fleshy. Dry fruits such as groundnut and mustard. Fleshy, you can see the tomato and mango. So this is about the post-fertilization changes or the fate of the floral organs. Now we will see the structure of seed. Now all of you see the structure of seeds. The ovules after fertilization develops into seeds. As I explained you now only. The seed is made up of seed coat and inner one is embryo. An embryo is made up of radicle and embryonal axis as one cotyledon or two cotyledon. One in wheat and maize and two cotyledon in, as you can see in the gram and pea. Now see the structure of dicotyledonous seeds. The outermost covering of the seed coat, as I told you, outer covering is called as seed coat, has two layers, outer and inner. Outer layer is called as testa, whereas inner layer is called as tegmen. Okay. Now the hilum here, the hilum is a scar in the seed coat through which the developing seeds are attached to the fruit. Next, a hilum is a small pore which is called as micropyle within the seed coat. Coat is the embryo consisting of embryonal axis of two cotyledons. Now the cotyledons are often fleshy and reserve of the food materials. Cotyledons basically meant for the storage of food, and they are having the two ends of the embryonic axis are present. One is radicle and second one is plumule. See, the radicle gives rise to the future root, and as you can learn like this way, R for radicle and R for root. Okay, so radicle will give rise to the future root, as well as plumule give rise to the future shoot. Or you can say at the time of germination, or in the or at the time when the seed is getting the favorable condition, the seeds absorb water and get swells up. The embryo becomes active and stored food mobilized and transport to the lips of embryo axis. The radicle first grow and it breaks the seed coat and passes into the soil. Okay, so radicle first breaks and grow into the soil, and then and form the root system and activate the plumules to come out from the soil, and after that the plumule develop and form the shoot system. Okay, so now the germinating seed will become the seedling. Okay, this is the process of germination. First radicle will develop, after that plumule will develop, and the seed will turn into the seedling. So this is about all the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In the next class we will start with the study the reproduction in human beings. So thank you for today.